Hey you guys, it's Saving Life Matter. It's Joseph David Barkus, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what I would call common sense. And after doing some research, reading about more of the mass shootings, targeted individuals, and a little bit about the inside of the reasoning behind some of these fusion centers. I guess you can't trust everything you read. However, I do know through my experience, I know how certain people could feel, and I know what the point of this program is. And really, if somebody wants to protect our Second Amendment, and everyone has that right, that is our right, who would be really against that Second Amendment? You know, I don't think that's too hard. It's a lot of the Democrats, and I don't want to really judge or label, because you don't really know exactly which ones, or if any. You know, maybe it is a little bit of foreign influence. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Anyways, we don't know. Not yet. But I think through common sense, as being a targeted individual, and seeing what it does to a human being, and seeing how a human being can be manipulated into its behavior and to change its decisions, that's a powerful thing. So it seems like it would make sense that since the Democrats are so against the Second Amendment, why not go and target a bunch of individuals, manipulate their behavior, change their decision-making process, and cause a bunch of crime and violence. That way they can try to have gun control. You guys ever think about that? Now, like I said, this is just me kind of thinking about it. I could be wrong. I guess maybe you would have to be a targeted individual to know what it's like to even remotely understand some of this disgusting violence that is all corrupted and paid for and funded through you. That's right. We're in debt for our own inside corruption of what we're actually doing to our own American citizens. Now you think about that. You tell me something. Second Amendment. Do the science, do the logistics behind, do the data, do the reading behind what causes mass shootings, gun violence, and a lot of even like semi-automatic type of weaponry behavior. And just remember which side was really pushing against the Second Amendment, or which politicians were trying to do that. And think about how using your brain and your intellectual common sense kind of leads you to believe whoever's against the Second Amendment, whoever wants to do this sick kind of disgusting gang stalking behavior to actually innocent human beings, just to set them up and to manipulate them, Who are you fooling? All of you that produce mass violence, targeted individuals, gun violence, and not all targeted individuals turn around and do that. But we've figured out that we have a lot of violence coming from guns. And it comes from targeted individuals, which comes from the government, because the government targets the individuals. And when the government targets an individual and puts this kind of psycho torment and uses this kind of direct weapon energy, this is like me in the Geneva Code inside the United States. This is sick. So, who's really causing all the crime and all the gun violence? Let's think about that. Hey, Pelosi, is there any way you can answer my question? Sorry I'm asking like this, but you're a very difficult person to get a hold of. And I think you have some explanations for the United States of America. And if you don't, you can at least let us know and then step down and move on out, because it's time for new, fresh blood. I think your time's up after what you've allowed, what you've signed, and what you've manipulated from what our other leader signed. Our government is not a game. Our country is not a game. And I believe a lot of politicians, and I'm not speaking to all, need to pull your head out of your butt and realize there's a lot of human beings suffering due to the corruption of wanting violence and targeting individuals. It causes crime, it causes violence, and there is a paid government agent funding program that does this. And now you're trying to involve the local departments. It's already federal, local, state. Or is it just local if you have an injunction and they need to fight from it? Anyways, just wanted to let you guys know at Saving Life Matters, Joseph David Barkus, and I was just using some of my common sense and thinking about who's really responsible for all those innocent lives out there. I believe the answer is going to come really, really soon. And I believe you're all going to be very shocked. And I believe we all have the right to bear arms. We all have the right to have our intellectual property. We all have the right to have ethics. We all have the right to respect someone's privacy and to respect someone's boundaries, and not to make up things, not to manipulate someone's behavior, and not to use artificial intelligence upon anybody. Justice will be served. And I suggest some of you that want to be a part of good, start blowing your whistle. Because if one of your loved ones, or if one of your family members had to experience something like this, and then came to the terms that the people who are actually trying to fight this are creating it, just my theory. Just my theory. Maybe just common sense. Anyways, you guys, it's Joseph David Barkus, Saving Life Matter. You guys please hit like, please hit subscribe, and think about the things that I'm saying. I know that a lot of you already have this wisdom. A lot of you already have this intellect. However, there's so many out there that don't know what it's like to be a non-investigated, experimental human project, let alone a targeted individual. especially after being struck by a train and not being able to get the proper health care. Pelosi, subscribe. DOJ is waiting for your testimony. Thank you. Please hit like, subscribe.